You are listening to the New England Haunts Podcast, episode number 10, my 2022 visit to Haunted Labyrinth in Cranston, Rhode Island. Rhode Island.
Rhode Island?
You like how I ended it with an M at the end there? That's a lingo that's not invented yet.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Cranston, Rhode Island. It's not even a freaking island. It's stupid. I am your host.
Worse?
I'm making up all kinds of rules. By the end of this podcast, I'm going to have a whole language. I am your host, Josh, also known as Hallowoosh, and it is April still, 2023, and with me, as always, is my kicking kielbasa news. See, I picture a kielbasa. That's exactly what it would sound like if it had a voice.
I love kielbasa.
In the mouth, or...
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. It is this kind of... It's going to be that kind of show, folks, all right?
Yeah.
When we say in the mouth, and we say, yes, of course in the mouth, we mean that, because today we're talking about a very Christian kind of group here. So let's keep it at least PG. You know, if we branch off into PG-13 just a little tiny bit, I think we'll be okay. If you catch me doing anything, just, shout at me and tell me to say a couple Hail Marys or something like that.
I wish I could slap you.
That's not very Christian.
Yes and no.
Okay. So today I am super excited to talk to you all about this very special haunted attraction. Not so much because it's going to win any crazy haunt industry awards or anything like that, but more because it's just super nostalgic of how a haunt used to be.
Good evening. This is an emergency broadcast to everyone on station.
We have complaints. Any of them?
The peak of reaching on the high. Need to get to the escape touchdown to get off the station.
On that.
Need to get off the station. Keep your mouths closed. Except for the escape pod.
This is the Haunted Labyrinth of the Rejoice in Hope Youth Center in Cranston, Rhode Island. Cranston, Rhode Island.
Say that again.
A small... I did. Cranston, Rhode Island. Okay, I got it. A small city branching off the southwestern corner of Providence. And the youth center is under the Diocese of Providence. Did I say that right? Diocese?
Yes.
Okay, all right. But I think the haunt is still very much controlled and managed by volunteers. I know the main guy who's been there for a very long time is just a volunteer. He's Joe Fazio. I don't know if anyone is still there because it's all volunteer, so it might change out quite a bit year to year. But there's Andy Monfils. I guess he's kind of in charge of the cast managing, but he's been with them forever too. There's Michelle Ficoselli or something like that. David, Carissa. There's a bunch more people that are involved all the time. I can't remember all their names off the top of my head. I'm sorry. So the 2022 season marked year 38 of this haunted house.
Wow.
Started way back in 1985. I think officially making it the longest running haunted house in New England.
So is that one of the older ones in the country?
No, there's a few in their 40s now. Not Scary Farm out by you, celebrating their 50th year this year.
Yeah.
Niles Scream Park in Michigan is 50. Hudson Haunted House in Ohio is turning 50 this year too. But 1985 is still in that age bracket there to be considered like part of the elders.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of thought that anything pre-Spooky World opening up in 1991 is like, wow. To me, that's like, in the before time. So nothing to do with the quality. It's just that the early 90s seemed to be a starting point for a lot of haunts. So it was the beginning of an age. These guys have been around before that age.
So are there any other ones in New England from that time period?
Not regular haunts, but I think I remember the 715 haunted house in Canton, Mass. They started as a Halloween party back in the 70s. So I don't know if I can count that.
Right.
And they had an incredible run, by the way. I don't know if they'll ever come back, but they turned it into a home haunt to the public for years. And then they went pro in 2013 and up until COVID. And they did an amazing job up there. Yeah, I can't think of any, but there might be, because I find out new stuff every day. There's a couple of things that make Haunted Labyrinth great, though. One, it's completely done by volunteers, kids and adults alike. It's only $12 for a ticket.
Wow.
And it changes the entire layout every single year, which is something you do not see. And they build it all in this gymnasium of this youth center. The concept is usually the same, though. So you line up outside, and they have a concession booth. They sometimes have a DJ. There's a big haunted house facade over the main entrance to the building. And when you go in, they have a little, curtained off section in the lobby of the building. And it's always some, introduction scene to the haunt's theme of that year. And when it's done, you continue through up the stairs to the gymnasium entrance where the real haunt begins.
That's cool, though. Most places don't have anything that tells you what the theme is.
Yeah, it's really upsetting. It is cool that they do that. I've always respected them for doing that. It's one of the reasons I keep going back. But I gotta say that there's only been a few times that it's actually worked out well. The problem is that it's literally 10 feet away from the front door, which is always open, and the people are in line right there. They're all talking, and then 40 more feet away is the road, very busy road, and this little room is half the area of the lobby, and then there's 2 hallways that branch off left and right, and a whole administration office right there, and there's always people working in there. There's more people walking up and down the hallways. The staircase to the main haunt in the gym is another 10 feet in the other direction, and there's at least one person yelling at the group the whole time to not take pictures, no running, no touching, all that stuff. And you can hear all of that better than anything that's happening inside that intro room every single time.
Is there anything else going on in that building at that time?
I have no idea. I can't find a website really for the place that explains exactly what they do. I don't really know how these things work. I don't know if it's a school or if they do just tutoring, or it's a camp or a church. It might be all of those in one. I don't know.
Right.
And also on top of all the noise that's canceling out that scene, more often than not, I end up going in with a family who doesn't know how to shut up. So these types of people that clearly know that something is happening right in front of them, but they would rather look at each other and make bad jokes about the place.
Right.
And the worst part is that it doesn't matter if they are naturally talkative people or not. You got all this noise around people, and that makes most people want to talk loud. And you're in a haunted house, which a lot of people go to see the reactions of other people. So a lot of those people like to steer the reactioners' attention by saying stuff like, "Oh, look at that over there. Oh, there's your friend right behind you. Ooh, are you scared? Are you ready? Huh?" And it's a haunted house, so a lot of people try to fight off anxiety, the stressfulness, the fearness, by steering their own attention away from everything, and that's why they start talking and saying dumb stuff like that. So I get that.
Right. So are these really well done, nicely done scenes in the intro room?
They're good on their own scale, I guess. It's more like a mini stage. I'm pretty sure every year I've been, they've always played a video of a character from inside the haunt. Most times it's a live character that will talk briefly, sort of give a prefix, I guess, and then play a video. The whole thing isn't usually longer than like 2 or 3 minutes. But sometimes the set is really nice. Sometimes it's just thrown together stuff.
Right.
Like they did a space station lab a few years ago, so they made this futuristic lab for the set with wires and lights and a bunch of other stuff. It was really good.
Wow.
And then another year they did an old southwestern mining town, and I vaguely remember it just being a little like doghouse looking thing that's supposed to look like a kid's mine shaft entrance, and like maybe a skeleton. You know, maybe I think there was a backdrop of like an old western mountains and cactuses and stuff like that. But that's just what I remember. I could be way off, though.
All right, so it might depend on just how much help they have or how much work they want to put into it that year.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess we could say the same thing about every attraction ever.
Right.
And at the same time, though, it doesn't even have to be about the set. You know, sometimes they get very dedicated and talented actors. Like in 2019, I think they did a theme of a college campus gone campy horror style.
Right.
And they called it Grim University. It was really good, too. But I think I remember the intro room was like a teacher in front of a chalkboard with a yardstick or something.
Huh.
And she was like scolding us, as teachers with a yardstick would do.
Yeah.
And there was hardly any set, but she was just awesome. And even last year, it's the pirate themed, or in 2022 anyway, there's a pirate theme, and they had a pirate lady, and she was really good. It was just too hard to hear her. The pirate set wasn't even that great there, but she was really good. It was just way too hard to hear her. But like the set with the old western mining town thing, that just felt like they either got really tired or they just didn't have the time or the enthusiasm. And some years are going to feel like that no matter where you go.
Right. So is this place for like charity? Like
I suppose you could call it a charity because it's for the youth center.
so all the money goes to that.
Yeah, and they use it
Okay.
towards programs and things like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it's a charitable haunt. And speaking of how some years are just going to be good, some years are going to be bad and everything, it's incredible when I hear about and see some of these other haunts around the country, how they keep going back to Transworld every year with thousands and thousands of dollars and this ambition to buy up all of these new things to make a whole new section of their haunt. I don't think I could ever do that. You know, think about it. You know, like you sacrifice practically every minute of free time you have, spend all of this money, organize and coordinate all of this stuff for at least the better part of the whole year, and you stress yourself practically to death trying to get this thing just right because it's really an art project to you.
Yeah.
And you pray and hope that these guests will see what you were trying to do for months. And it turns out all they really wanted to do was pay the least amount of attention to anything that you built. You know, I can't imagine going through a whole month of people not giving a damn about all the work that you put in and then going, okay, how are we going to do it all over again?
Yeah, that would suck though. But what are the other haunts that go back every year and try to improve and do new stuff like that?
The Transworld?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first off, I think the vast majority of the people who go to the convention shows and buy a bunch of stuff, they're kind of restocking for the most part, I think.
Yeah.
You know, fog juice in particular, you know, maybe a couple new masks because some of them broke, new props to throw into an already made scene. Like if they have a zombie hallway and some animatronic maker came out with a new zombie for $500, that haunt will just find a spot to put it in just because they like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of these big giant places will buy up a whole collection of stuff and make brand new scenes every year. Like I remember a few years back, Hell's Gate up in Illinois, they they bought up a bunch of this bee themed stuff.
Huh.
I forgot if it was like one company that was doing bees that year, or if there were others. But it was like they had mutilated bodies that had like beehive or hornet's nest like in their gut cavity.
Damn.
And honey pouring down their dead faces. Mutated hornets and not little, but like 2 or 3 inch bees. And I'm not sure if they had the idea before they went and saw all these bee things, but they made this part in their outdoor trail where you walk in and through a hollowed out, rotten, fallen down tree trunk.
Wow.
And inside they put all of this bee stuff. And the speakers were playing buzzing noises. It was cool. But it's every year they are working on expanding and making these great things. And I think that the difference is, like with most haunt owners not wanting to put in that much effort, I think a lot of it comes from having like a solid core team of people that love this stuff and can't imagine a life without it. And it's the highlight of their whole year. And they all want it to be in their lives more than just October.
I like that bee stuff because can also play on like a fear, because a lot of people have fears of hornets and bees and stuff. So that's actually a creative idea there.
Yeah, and I don't think I see it that often either. You might walk down a hallway and some buzzing noises, but you might not pick up on it. Might be bees because the audio might be kind of strange.
Murder hornets.
Murder hornets.
Do it.
Somebody
do it.
That was a T-shirt right there. Murder hornets. Do it. All right. So like with Hell's Gate, not only do they have an amazing team that want to live and breathe this stuff, they have an entire community of fans out there that are constantly looking for the new stuff because they make videos every year of all their progress and what they want to work on and how they're getting there. It's also inspired a lot of other haunts out there to take more of a team building involvement approach. And they get together sometimes late winter, early spring, sometimes much earlier. And they all just sit around a table and go, ideas, let's hear them. And I know that Haunted Labyrinth does that too. They're one of the few in New England that I think really likes to do that.
So a lot of the other bigger haunts in New England don't do like creative like idea sessions like that?
No, and not always by choice. I mean, most of these places, you're lucky to find like 2 people that will want to help and contribute in any way. Mm-hmm. Sure as hell can't expect many people to be on the creative side too.
So what haunts in New England do you know that have these like creative like idea sessions?
Well, definitely Haunted Labyrinth. I want to say Barrett's Haunted Mansion because they change up their house every year too, just not 100% completely. I thought, though they really don't change that much, I know that Fright Kingdom makes a point to keep the actors around for a while after the show, and they just all kind of sit around and talk about what worked, what didn't, how can they make it better. Haunted Overload has a crew that works their ass off all year long, and I feel like I'm speaking way out of line here if I don't mention every single haunt. I'm sure in some capacity they all encourage and listen to ideas from each other.
Right.
I don't know how everyone does their stuff. All I know is that most of these places come from a deep personal fire for this stuff. And like I said, it becomes an art project to at least one of the people there. So I'm sure most haunts are the brainchild of someone's particular vision, and that is what keeps them motivated, their vision.
Yeah.
And then again, maybe they did have a grand vision and it was fun to chase that for a while, but realized as they were doing it, it wasn't worth damaging the community and the family it made around them. So the vision just evolved into preserving that, the sense of community and family. So yeah, Haunted Labyrinth is what we are supposed to be talking about. But how about a little music break?
Sounds good.
Crawler in the Dark from the Dark Dream album by Royalty Free Zone.
And that was lovely as always. Thank you. Did you like it?
Loved it.
Damn. You're so sweet.
I am.
All right, let's get back on track here. So, Haunted Labyrinth, like I said, they change their theme every year. This year was definitely a pirate theme, but they might have been trying to do more of like a haunted shipwreck island and buried treasure type thing. Not entirely sure. I think the concept was supposed to be you enter the haunt like you're already inside a haunted shipwreck, and you walk around inside the cabins, and eventually you walk out and you can see the ship that you walked out of, which was by far the coolest thing about 2022, although it was only just like a section of the ship, not even like the front or back or sorry nautical nuts, the bow or the stern.
Bow.
Did I say? Oh, shoot. I am so going overboard.
Oh my god. So was it the port?
No, it was the starboard, you big dummy.
Oh. Well, how could you know if you couldn't see the bow or the stern?
I just know, okay? And I remember at the end, there was a skeleton pirate sitting on a pile of treasure, a lot like in the Goonies with the One-Eyed Willie.
Yes, One-Eyed Willie.
I think we were supposed to pick up on the concept again that we were off the ship and now going into the caves to find some treasure. But, I mean, they can only do so much to try to get that point across.
How big was the area that the whole haunt was in? Was it like a basketball court type thing?
Yeah, it is, but it's not like it's more like an elementary school, like, gym. Like, smaller. I don't really know how to measure it.
Yeah.
Would that make sense? You know, more of like a gym that you could find like a preschool having or something like that. Or
so it was at least like a full-size basketball court, but not like anything on the sides or in the front, kind of.
I guess you could... I wouldn't really even say like full size.
Yeah.
It's smaller than that.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. And plus, it's the haunt itself is only like, take away at least like 5 feet on the perimeter in all directions.
Yeah.
So that they can move around the haunt. But back to the trying to establish the point of what the theme is. See, this is what I was thinking when I was trying to go with that whole, the introduction room sometimes making sense and sometimes not. So some years you can tell that they were really excited to try new stuff and they go all out making all this fun and interactive and creative stuff, and it's really hard to not understand what the theme is or what the story is anyway, but it's never flat out said what exactly it is. They just give you some hints, really. Like when they did the Spaceship 13 a few years ago, and Grimm University one too. Those were the best ones I've seen so far, and most years that I've seen are really good and creative and different. And with a lot of them, the theme is like impossible to not get, like a circus theme, or like they did an Alice in Wonderland theme a few times. Wow. They did a fairy tale one. They did a zombie outbreak one.
Damn.
And some years it just feels like they needed a break. And it seemed like in 2022, it was a break year. I could be wrong. I think a lot about it, all the different scenarios that I don't know about. You know, maybe some years they get a group of volunteers that want to contribute a lot, and some years they don't. And the big issue with this place is that they have a limit. They only have so much space, they only have so much money, so many volunteers, and it's always going to be different every single year. So if one year they go all out, unlimited budget, crazy setup, best they can possibly do in that little gym space there, you know, people are going to go nuts over it. And then the next year, people are expecting something even crazier, and they simply cannot make it crazier. So realistically, I'd say those couple years where they did the best they could with whatever they had, it's like if it doesn't get better and better the next years, then the place starts to feel like it's going downhill.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, people expect things always to get better and improve and grow. But, you know, that's not always fair, I don't think.
Absolutely. Especially on these guys, they've been going hard for years. And it's not like this haunted house is their main business. You know, they're just trying to raise some funds to help kids. and I'm not exactly up to date on what exactly they do. I think they just help kids develop and learn and stuff. I'm not sure how much religion plays a role in there. And I'm probably in the minority here, as always. The vast majority of the people that go there love the place every single year. And I'm not saying that it was bad in 2022. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not even saying that they could have done better. I'm saying that they do enough work that it is perfectly understandable that some years aren't going to be crazy, new, exciting to people like me anyways. I would even say I want them to take a break every once in a while. But my opinions on the place don't matter. Like I said, practically everyone that knows them loves them. The reviews for the place are practically all super positive.
Yeah, also with a place like this that completely changes it up every year, people could possibly get burned out. Like if they go crazy and hard every year, you know?
Yeah. I never really thought about it like that, but that's...
So if
I could
they're like,
definitely see
hey,
that
you
being a
guys need
thing.
to take a break this year, that's fine. So you don't, like, shut the whole thing down because you don't, burn out or
True.
something.
Yeah, that's a good point.
'Cause that is a lot of work to completely redo that stuff every year.
Yeah.
But I still want to hear what you have to say, though.
Yeah, I know. Well, fine. Okay, but before we do that,
Yes.
how about it's time for some beerdication? Well, we've got ale and lager, Belgian sour, brown and red and pale and porter, Weiss and Pilsner, malt and Mars and Bock and Winter, Staus and Saison.
I like drinking beer.
Beerdication.
Oh, yes.
So instead of dedication, it's beerdication.
Beerdication.
You're-
But it has nothing to do with my awesome beard.
Good.
I mean, it could.
No, we're good.
No, you're good. All right. And today we're heading into Portsmouth, Rhode Island to check out Ragged Island Brewing Company.
Ragged Island. Nice name.
I got their Beach Night IPA right there.
All right.
6.5. Ooh, I just realized that there's a girl in a bikini painting for a label. Look at her dance. I don't know why I put freaking circus music on that, but that's okay. So this place, this is a really nice place too. They're on some farmland, but they only use it to grow like a small portion of hops now. They have an awesome lookout porch in the back. You can see all the way to Narragansett Bay. I guess the place used to be a nursery, and they had this big greenhouse in the front. And it was still there when they purchased the property. So now they have a guy who kind of tends to the greenhouse and just grows all his little like succulents and hanging vines and stuff like that. And they turned that into another tap room. So you can kind of sit around these tables and smell all of that. I was about to say chloroform, but it's not chloroform.
Chloroform.
Oh my God, I forgot the word. What's the
Chlorophyll?
word for... Chlorophyll. No, what the hell do plants... What's the process of plants taking sunlight and turning it into energy?
Photosynthesis?
Yeah, it's photosynthesis. That's right, but plants... It is chlorophyll.
Yeah.
Chlorophyll is a pigment that gives plants their green color.
Yeah, but can you smell chlorophyll?
Oh God, yeah. To walk into one of those greenhouses, you'll smell it right away, and then you'll get high. I think they actually purchased that property in the middle of the pandemic too. They used to be at like a industrial building.
Yeah.
They got food trucks there all the time. The place is awesome. It's growing. They're making another tap room out of one of the old barns. So 37 acres of farmland there. And in order for it to still be a farmland, they have to grow something, so that's why they're growing the hops.
Yeah.
But they probably would have started growing the hops anyway.
That's cool, though, when you're drinking in a brewery with growing the hops right there on the property, you know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they do use them, but I think it's more so just in order for them to be called a farm.
Yeah.
So,
They probably can't grow enough to do all
no,
their
there's no
beers,
way.
probably.
You need like freaking, what do you need? You need like 200 pounds of them to fit into like one of those, All right, let's tap into this. And it's not tapping because it's a can, but it's fun to say tapped anyway. Yella.
Is
Ooh,
that
very
a
hazy.
Is that a
What?
New England style?
No, it's just a regular IPA. But like you said, New England style is really just more like a hazy and more like citrus stuff, right?
Yeah, a little sweeter.
But what if a regular IPA already uses that? Like, when does it become a New England IPA? I would say a New England IPA is brewed in New England.
No, it's like more of style, like how it is.
So an IPA could be a New England style, but people just don't know.
Yeah, usually they say it. I mean, some don't, but that looks like it might be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, look how hazy it is. Very cloudy. Smells very sweet. Thought it said something. All right, let's take it out. It's got a kick to it. It's got a bitterness kick to it. So maybe I'm not getting that sweet.
Yeah.
It's good though. I taste the fruit. It is very good, but yeah, that sweetness is kind of an aftertaste.
Yeah, it's also like the yeast that they use, and
that's
there's
true.
a few different things that go into it that make it more New England style. But
I like it. Not bad. Not bad. Good job, guys. Wish you all the best luck. Back to the Labyrinth. So, I know that a lot of people are going to think I'm crapping on the place if I say anything more about the stuff I don't like. That whole intro scene rant was enough. I get it. So let me finish up with all the good things that I like about the place, because most people listening have already forgotten every compliment I've given them. And that's how you people work. So, whatever. So I mentioned before about how creative their haunt is, and by that I mean there is an element to them as to why they call themselves a labyrinth.
really,
And I don't know if they ever really got into the theme of an actual labyrinth, but every year there's rooms in there that you're not too sure how to get out of it at first. Like, you'll walk around a bed or a table in the middle of the scene anticipating that a door will be at the end of the room, and there isn't.
huh?
But there might be like a bookcase or a fridge or a fireplace or something, and eventually you figure out that you have to push it open, or the fridge door is the door to the next room, or you have to crawl into the fireplace.
That's cool. I like that.
And my favorite one they ever did was this big wall of spikes in their Space Station 13 theme back in 2020. And you walk into this room, and there's really like nothing in it. And I got real confused because I've been going to this place for years, and after a while, it's not really that hard to pinpoint where the exits are, what creative passageways they make, because a lot of the times it's the same door that they keep using. It's not like they go out and they get a new fridge every year and cut the back half of it off. You know, it's that same fridge from the 1950s that they keep using.
Does every room have like a secret exit?
Not every room, and some years are different than others. There's also a lot of just walls, just stuff that it doesn't look like a door at all, but if you just push the wall, it just opens.
Yeah.
But no, not every single room.
So it's not really like a maze where you have to figure out like the route to get out.
Nah, well, as far as I know, they might have had something like that before, but ever since I've been going since 2011, it's always been a typical walkthrough with some rooms, sometimes a lot of rooms, having some sort of weird, unique door to find.
Right.
But it's not like go down this hallway or that hallway and you might come to a dead end.
Yeah.
Sometimes, maybe.
I mean, I guess that's technically a maze, so people have to stop, figure out if they're going the right way or not.
Yeah, and I guess that's why they call it a labyrinth.
Well, technically, a labyrinth isn't a maze.
What the hoggle you talking about now?
Yes. Yeah, a labyrinth just looks like a maze.
Huh.
It's a maze that you can't screw up. Once you go in, there's only one way to get out.
The Didymus you trying to say?
No, look it up.
Okay.
And also in a labyrinth, it always leads to the center.
Huh.
The end of the labyrinth is always the center.
Okay. Let's see what all this Ambrosius is about. Oh my god! Holy Ludo? You're right.
Holy Ludo.
The difference between mazes and labyrinths is that labyrinths have a single continuous path which leads to the center. and as long as you keep going forward, you will get there eventually. Mazes have multiple paths which branch off and will not necessarily lead to the center. You're a freaking genius.
Yes, I am.
You know who you remind me of?
Who?
The Babe.
What babe?
The Babe with the power.
What power?
The power of voodoo.
Who do?
You do.
Do what?
Remind me of the Babe.
That just happened. Yes.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a gosh darn totin'. I specifically remember Jennifer Connelly running all over the place and getting lost and not knowing which way to go and all that.
I don't know. I think they lied to you.
Jareth. You tricky goblin king, you.
Hey, watch it.
I know. I'm sorry. All right, fine. Where was I?
You were talking about that spike wall?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you walk into this room that looks like there is nothing in it. And to me, it looked like they had an exit door right on the other side. So I just walked over to it.
Oh, okay.
And the thing wouldn't open. And I'm like, oh, this must be a new design to figure out how to get out. Nice. There's nothing obvious. I like that.
Nice.
So I'm feeling around the closest walls to me and realizing how empty the room really is. And that kind of stopped, and then I started thinking, oh crap, did I walk into a part I'm not supposed to be in? You know, because it mostly felt like storage space or something. And then I noticed these big spikes on a wall furthest away from me. Huh. And suddenly that whole wall starts closing in on me, like these big spikes were just going to stab me.
Really?
And I'm like, whoa, what the... And it stopped right before it hit me.
Are you serious?
And I looked and I looked and I realized the door to the exit of this room is right in the middle of this big moving spike wall.
Wow.
That was awesome.
Were you the only person in the room?
Yeah, it was just me.
Oh, okay. The spike room.
The room with the spikes?
Yeah, that.
Okay, I remember it.
Very similar to a scene in the Labyrinth.
What?
Remember when she's in the tunnel and that thing's spinning around and coming towards her?
Oh, what did he call that? The freaking...
Yeah, I forget.
Whoosh, editing this episode in the future. What's it called? They're called the Cleaners. Yeah, exactly. Good. You get 5 stars.
Now, did they do that on purpose, or is it just a coincidence?
That is a super coincidence.
Okay. Have you ever seen anything else like that? Another haunt?
I want to say yes, but I can't think of anything because my memory don't work so good. Closest thing I can think about is that 17th Door attraction out there near L.A., and they're kind of known for putting you in crazy room situations like that. And as far as something closing in on you goes, they have one part where I think they strap you down, and these headlights turn on in the dark in the distance, and they pretty much drive a car like 30 miles an hour at you.
Wow.
And it crashes into this like guardrail thing right in front of you.
Damn.
But that headlight car thing is used all the time. Not as extreme as that, and it works every time too, regardless of how you use it. That thing works.
But nothing like how they trap you in the room and there's a door in the middle?
Not that I can remember, which isn't saying much. It wouldn't be saying much even if I could tell you some places, because there is a giant amount of creativity out there that never gets talked about, ever.
Right.
And I mean, look at this place, Haunted Labyrinth. It isn't one of the haunts that's talked about all over the country. You know, I bet there's people who are living in Cranston for years and they've never even heard about it. You know, people come up with some crazy stuff. You'll never hear about it unless you go see it for yourself. Or people like me want to start talking about it and you happen to be randomly listening to me some way, somehow.
So what's one of the craziest things you've ever seen?
I'd have to say that it's time for a music break. Yeah, I'll think of something when we come back, I promise.
All right, fine.
So good.
That was deep, brother.
So good. You ever just turn on some music like that and cruise around at like 2 a.m.?
Nope.
Oh, you gotta try it, dude.
I'm good.
Okay. So, I was trying to think of some of the craziest things I've ever seen, set-wise anyway, to compare to the creative spike wall at Haunted Labyrinth. As far as, like, the set being a character in a super creative way, I don't think I've bumped into anything quite as cool as that. In New England, I can only think of a few. There was a place a while ago called the Gooley Manor in Taunton, and I've heard it pronounced Goulet, Goulier, Gowly, and even just Ghoul. But anyways, I think in their last year, in 2015, they made this long hallway in the back of their attraction. At the end of the hallway, there was this typical ghost girl, you know, like long black hair, can't see the face, white nightgown. And they started walking in her direction, and suddenly all the lights go off. And they had this incredible sound design that made it sound like her spirit was just everywhere. And it was like these whispers and laughs at the same time. But it wasn't coming from only one direction. It was literally all around me.
Wow.
And that was really cool. There was another small place called 13 Screams back in 2011 in Milford, New Hampshire. And I think they were at a place near Canopy Lake Park in Salem, New Hampshire before that. But I remember there was a lot of choose which door scenarios in that place. And one of them was you'd open up a door and there were what seemed like hundreds of ghost face killers all staring at you from Scream.
Wow.
And that was really creepy too.
What were they, just the masks hanging there?
No, well, I mean, if anything, like the first like 2 rows of them were kind of like in the hoods too.
Yeah.
But then it was just like a whole bunch of masks behind them, and they weren't like just all tacked up against the wall. It seemed like there was rows and rows of them. That was real. That was kind of cool. And another place long ago was called Mass Acres Fields, so Massacre Fields, in Blackstone, Massachusetts, in 2013. Big cornfield place, but they had one part where you'd have to crawl on your hands through a tunnel in like a little shed, and it's pretty dark in there, and suddenly you crawl over a piece of plexi, and there's an actor right on the other side laying on his back, and I'm like right there in this guy's face, but I can't see him. I don't know they're there. And then he flashes a light on his face and screams, and like an air horn or something too, all at the same time. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Haunted Overload, obviously, their sets and sculptures are so massive and cool looking, you'd swear they're actually moving on their own sometimes. Outside of New England, oh boy. Haunted Hoochie near Columbus, Ohio has a whole section where it's just animatronic overload, and it's crazy. Haunted Laboratory near Cleveland has like a 2 or 3 story room that walks around these 1 or 2 big Tesla coils. So all this lightning is shooting out all over the place, and you're walking around it in like a protective cage.
Nice.
Gateway's Haunted Playhouse on Long Island, New York. They built up their set on top of the Playhouse seats, and they had a spot where you could watch security cam live feed footage of other guests going through. And they had these button triggers for the air cannons
Right.
in those particular rooms. So it's kind of like you're the one doing the scaring because you're triggering the cannons or whatever animatronic is in there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a place in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania called Gravestone Manor, and in 2016 or 17, maybe both years, they had a finale circular room where the room spun around you. That was real creative. Markoff's Haunted Forest across the river in Maryland near Leesburg, Virginia. Their freaking Viking ship is so freaking cool it would make the crew up at Overload go, why didn't we do that? The solitary prison cells at Blood Prison inside the Mansfield State Reformatory in Ohio. I don't even think there were actors in there. And it was one of the scariest moments of my life.
Really?
Yeah, it just felt like there was a presence in there. It was so... I can't even explain it. That was weird. And I wasn't even alone. I was in a freaking conga line and I was still scared.
Yeah.
The slide at Stillwell Manor near Indianapolis is huge. It goes on for like 10 seconds. Maybe not that long, but the freaking slide at Raven's Grin in freaking Nowhereville, Wisconsin. I'll talk about Raven's Grin one of these days, but wow. I've seen some pretty cool stuff, and I've only spread out to like still 1/4 of this country, just this upper right portion of this country, really.
Right.
But I'd have to say the coolest thing I've come across as far as interactive sets was at Erebus Haunted House in Pontiac, Michigan. They put you and like 3 or 4 other people in these closets with a guardrail in front of you to hold on to. And the actors say something like, "Hope you like spiders," and then they slam the door shut on you, and then there's no light. And then you hear what you would imagine a giant army of spiders might sound like if they were about to drop down on you.
Yeah.
And then a massive amount of ball pit balls drop down on you, and you don't know that they're balls at first, right? They're just so many of them, and they keep filling up the closet until you are completely covered in them. Like they're a good foot above your head.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And you are legitimately buried in them. And then the floor opens up in front of you, and they all fall into wherever they go.
How big was the room?
Like a walk-in closet, maybe even smaller.
Oh, okay.
And that's not the only time that I've been in a haunt that covers you in ball pit balls, but Erebus was much more creative.
But you were saying Haunted Labyrinth doesn't always have like crazy creative rooms like that?
Well, they always have some kind of creative thing. If not, then at least they have the fun, weird exits, like the fridge and the bookcase or whatever. I think they like to focus a little more on the theme most years. Sometimes they mix the theme with the creative stuff, and that's the coolest part. Like one of the years they did a Alice in Wonderland theme, and I remember one of the exits was literally going under the dress of the Queen of Hearts.
That doesn't sound very Christian.
No, dude, no. It was like the actress was placed high above you, and the set looked like her giant puffy gown, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But one year they did like a nightmare theme, I think. And one of the rooms was the most creative thing I've ever seen, even more creative than Erebus, but Erebus was just more fun. It was like a wide hallway. It kind of looked like something out of like a Beetlejuice scene. It was like 4 feet of the walls of the floor and the ceiling were painted purple, and then the next 4 feet was black, and then the next 4 feet purple again. So on, kind of like a striped room. And I walked down the hallway a little bit, and suddenly, out of the black sections, one on the left and one on the right, a couple of sections down, these 2 Reaper characters just slowly walk out of the walls and into the black walls on the other side of the hall.
Right.
And I'm like freaking Keanu Reeves, like, whoa.
So the black sections were like cut out?
Yeah, but they made you think that they were just black walls. So these things looked like they were literally walking through the walls.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool how the actors didn't just do the typical, jump scare, pop out and scream type thing. It's more like psychological.
Yeah, that was huge. That made an incredible difference. I don't know if they realized how much of that changed the whole outcome. And I don't know if they did that with everyone either. It might have just been me that night. And it might have just been just something that those 2 actors wanted to try. Heck, it might have even been something that they weren't trying to do. Like, I could see the director just telling 2 kids, okay, so when the people come down here, you come out of here, and then you come out of here, okay? Okay, good, I gotta go. If I walked down the hall and some actor in the typical black robe and the faceless black mesh mask just popped out of the shadows like that, I might have already discovered that those weren't black walls, just cutouts. And then it would have been super obvious what was about to happen. The scene would have been ruined.
Yeah, especially since you probably would have been thinking about or anticipating the scare that they would have done.
Yeah, definitely. I would have been like, oh, hey, no, get back in there. I'm going to come back again. Just walk slowly across to the other cutout. That's all you have to do, all right? Let's try this again.
Whoosh, coaching actors in the middle of a haunt.
Nah. I probably wouldn't have said anything, just ran away crying.
So that was a nightmare theme?
Yeah, that was... I can't remember much else about that year. That was 12 years ago.
That's cool, though, but I don't really know like what the theme, like nightmare theme could be. Maybe they just use it to like incorporate like anything they want in.
Yeah, sometimes. I wouldn't say it about Labyrinth, though. They definitely had like a basic scheme to it, I guess. Like the Reaper characters. They're very dark. Felt more like a death theme. It has felt like more recently they aren't quite as concerned with that, though, so it's kind of a shame that they're not really strictly enforcing that theme on everybody.
What do you mean?
Well, the sets and the builds are still doing good, but the actors, just the kid volunteers, it feels like they just show up with whatever mask they want. Costume is optional. Like every year, I swear, there's at least like 5 kids in a cheap skull mask. And it doesn't really work with the theme half of the time. I know that they can make an argument that it always does. But stuff like that.
What other themes did they do?
Oh, I actually got a list here. Check it out. I traced it all the way back to 2006.
Wow.
2006. The Don Marco Hotel.
2007. The City of No Return.
2008. Cirque du Horror.
2009. Behind the Screens.
2010. Mansion of Mystery.
2011. Nightmares.
2012. The End.
2013. Once Upon a Nightmare.
2014, The Workshop of Horrors.
2015, Camp of No Return.
2016, Cirque du Horror returns.
2017, The Lost Mine.
2018, Escape from Wonderland.
2019, Grimm University.
2020, Space Station 13.
2021, The Midnight Masquerade.
2022, The Isle of Dread.
Nice. So they completely change it up every year, huh?
Yep.
So what were some of your favorite years?
I really liked 2012, The End. It was a zombie apocalypse theme. The first time I ever saw this build method, too. So you keep walking back into a central area and making your way into different buildings with their own scenes. But the central area was built up to look like a downtown city area that's just been completely overrun with zombies and chaos. Like, you could actually look up and they had, like, building sets, but...
Wow.
That was cool. And going in and out of all the buildings and constantly going back into a central spot where all the craziness is always happening.
Like a labyrinth, always making your way to the center.
Holy crap, you're right! Well, I'd say that deserves another beerdication.
Let's do it.
Well, we've got ale and lager, Belgian sour, brown and red and pale and porter, Weiss and Pilsner, malt and Mars and Bock and Winter, Staus and Saison.
I like drinking beer.
Today I went and grabbed up this little number here. This is Tilted Barn Brewery, Raise the Barn, and this is their Daffodil Pale Ale. Good question, noobs.
No, I've never heard of this brewery.
Yeah, you know, actually, I heard something about how the Tilted Barn is calling themselves the very first farm brewery in Rhode Island, and I think they opened up in 2014, which You know, the more that I read into the history about breweries and everything, 2014 was a good year for breweries.
Really?
I felt like everybody started in 2014. And I have nothing to back that up. So if you want to go ahead and do research and prove me wrong, feel free to. But I can just make up all kinds of factoids right now because we learned about what factoids were.
Wait, what are we looking up?
Whether or not 2014 was a year that most breweries started in New England. And go! No, well, it says right here. So, located in our authentic New England-style post and beam barn, we are proud to be Rhode Island's first farm brewery. A visit to the Tilted Barn allows you to sit back and relax while off the beaten path and enjoy the fruits of our labor. Our small batch, handcrafted ales are the best enjoyed fresh, so be sure to take trek early and often for true farm-to-pint experience. One breath. Cheers from Matt and Kara.
You know what it could have been? Like those early 2010s was kind of that New England IPA scene really started.
True. Yeah.
Places like Treehouse and, you know,
Right.
Alchemist really started getting popular. So people were like, yes, we can make money from this.
And these guys are out of Exeter, Rhode Island, not too far from Cranston. And so this is Daffodil Pale Ale. Nice can design. It's got the little drawing or paintings of some daffodil bulbs growing out of a ground. It's nice and pretty. Originally brewed as part of our 2022 Flower Series. Oh, they had a whole series on. Okay, cool. This pale ale is brewed with Pilsner malt, malted white wheat, and flaked oats for an amazing soft body and beautiful straw-colored appearance. I love the color of straw.
Don't we all?
Hopped with Galaxy, Laurel, and Haloratu Blanc. Haloratu Blanc?
Blanc.
Haloratu Blanc? Haloratu Blanc? Daffodil's welcoming and bright profile is a perfect match for the warmer spring days ahead. I would have brewed this with a little bit of daffodil. Wouldn't that make sense?
No.
Okay. And you know what? I didn't even know that this was kind of a Pilsner. Even though it says pale ale, but it's brewed with Pilsner malt.
Yeah.
You can't do that. That's against the rules.
No,
that I don't know about.
No, it's still pale ale. It's just
fine. All right, let's check it out. Looking at the place online too, it's a really cool area.
Really?
Really nice. Almost looks like it's in like a state park or something like that.
Nice.
Perfect.
Look at that.
Perfect pour. It's almost about to go over. Smells awesome. A lot of orange that they probably didn't put in here because they listed all the ingredients and I just read them all.
I mean,
oats. I'm supposed to smell oats.
I mean, you can get orange aroma from hops and all that.
I guess that's true. I never thought about it that way.
Certain hops.
True. A little cloudy. I like it though. All right, let's give it a shot. Soft body.
Hey, watch it.
I like it.
What's the ABV on that? Does it say?
Oh, 6.
6? Pretty good.
A little bit more grapefruit.
Yeah?
Yeah. A lot of it, actually. We shouldn't say a little, because that would be lying. Obviously, well, I shouldn't even say obviously. They might have used grapefruit in here, but I would imagine they would say if they used a particular ingredient, it would go on the can some way, somehow. Or do you think some brewers are just devious like that?
Well, I mean, you said you're getting grapefruit. You can get that from certain hops, too.
You know what?
But,
I'm sick of you defending hops all the time. There's 400 million kinds of hops.
But, yeah, I mean, sometimes they might not tell you exactly what's in it.
Shh, don't tell. No, I really like it. This is good. I could definitely see me chilling in the nice fields that they have there around their barn that they built, just looking over the plains and just being like, it's a good day. Very nice. Very, very nice. Good job, people.
Good job.
Good job. Who are you guys? Matt and Kara. Yeah. All this beer makes me want to open up a brewery. It's just starting to sound more like an awesome idea.
Yeah. I might try brewing a beer here soon.
Nice. Anyways, all right, let's get back to this. All right, so we've been talking for a lot now. How about we take another quick music break before we start finishing up here?
Whatever you say, Skippy.
How dare you?
The New Order by Aaron Kenny.
Back. That was magical, right?
Yes.
Good. We are on the same page. So I'm going to try a new segment here, and I'm going to call it, What's the Dealia with Your Social Media?
What is the dealia with your social media? What is the dealia with your social media?
It'll grow on you. I've just been realizing that I've mentioned certain things about other haunts' websites or Facebook pages, and I really should be kind of reviewing that stuff too.
Fine.
And just like me talking about how certain things I didn't like about a haunt, this is meant to be something for all listeners to take into consideration, not just the haunts I'm talking about. So, Haunted Labyrinth, for as long as I've known them, has had an incredibly simple website. Just their really nice painting or graphic that someone made for them a long time ago. Typical tabs along the top. This year has been the first year that I remember they actually put on the calendar right on their homepage.
Huh.
Usually, you had to go and click on admissions up at the top to find out which dates they were open, and the dates would just be listed on that page, not even a calendar. It was a real pain. It didn't make sense. But in their About section, it says that they've been in business for 36 years, so they need to update that. Or just say they've been open since 1984 or 5 or whenever. Their Directions tab just gives the address and a Google map. That really should be on the home page, if you ask me. A Directions tab is so freaking 2004, when people thought that they still needed something written out.
You need MapQuest, brother.
MapQuest. You remember MapQuest? TomTom. You remember TomTom?
Yeah.
That was the most sincere yeah I have ever heard in my life.
I never used that.
Me neither. I just remember the name TomTom.
TomTom.
Contact info, good. Volunteer permission slip. Ooh. So, right, again, this is Rhode Island. So practically everyone is a volunteer. And look at this permission slip. Select what grade you're in. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or college. Like the must wear all black. I've definitely seen kids in white t-shirts. What will this haunt do for you? It will give you opportunities for fun, community building, and prayer. Friendships through the diocese. The diocese? Diocese, right?
Diocese.
Diocese. Just okay, so there's not even another. Okay. Friendships through the diocese. Work and act in the accordings of Christ. Okay. Hey, listen, I'm not religious. I got nothing against these places at all. I think that they do amazing work and really provide some incredible moments for people and youngins in the community. I could imagine, though, someone looking at this form and thinking, well, I'd like to be in a haunt, but are they going to make me say like 10 Hail Marys and eat a cracker and wine every day? So if that was ever a concern of yours, if you are listening to this, all I can say is I have never, ever, even once picked up on a shred of any in-your-face, preachy anything from this place. Everyone is just trying to have a good time. And this has been on their website for a long time. You get a $1 off coupon if you join their mailing list. It's only $12 for a ticket, though, so if you need the money, here's something, I guess.
Use that at the dollar menu.
Yeah! Get my chicken nuggies!
That doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't. You're right. Practically everything else from their social media is on Facebook. YouTube doesn't have many recent videos. Instagram is pretty much just photos from Facebook. But their Facebook page is okay. They stay up to date and relevant. You know, and I've said this before on another podcast. Sometimes they've made a little teaser video to promote the upcoming theme. And it was really fun because they were very mysterious some years, but sometimes they're just very effortless, like the one from this year. Well, 2022 anyway. This year there wasn't even a video, just some pictures that aren't even theirs. Like, look at this first announcement for their theme. It's sort of a tease. It's like a dark silhouette of a rocky hill on an island in the ocean, and the words, "What the sea wants, the sea takes." Okay, so obviously something to do with the ocean. More likely pirates, okay. And then a few days later, they post a picture, and it's the inside of a dark cave and some haunted beach, and it says, "Some stones are best left unturned." Okay, I guess it's treasure involved. And then later, a dark painting of a pirate ship in a storm. "Without risk, there is no reward." Okay, it's pirates. Okay, we get it. It's pirate stuff. And then finally, the official announcement. It's a drawing of it's kind of like a skeleton pirate with a lantern. And it says, "Haunted Labyrinth presents the Isle of Dread." Yeah, I want a video. And it kills me because it would be so easy to do a video. Guys, I'm talking directly to you at Haunted Labyrinth. I will gladly make some teaser videos for you guys. And maybe even a full trailer. You know, I don't want to take that fun away from anyone down there that likes doing that stuff. But it doesn't seem like anyone did much of anything last year. So
maybe they just didn't have the time or something. They could do it.
It's so easy, though. We live in a time when it's so easy to do it. This is what they post. They post this 2-second video in a loop, and I can't make out what it is at all. Like, can you? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
No.
So, like I said, 2022 felt very much like a year they decided to keep it as simple as possible. But as far as staying relevant on Facebook, they do a decent job posting that they're open and they'll have a DJ and snacks and stuff. They don't bug you all year long with random posts. So, I guess that's good. And that's my first addition to What's the Dealio with your social media?
That was the dealio with your social media. That was the dealio with your social media.
All right, and now it's time for Review Roundup. Yeah. That's what we do here, boys. Saddle up, drink your coffee. We got work to do.
voices are not the actual voices of the original content providers.
All right, so we have 235 reviews on Google, averaging 2.5 out of 5. Pretty freaking good. Right, noobs?
Yes.
Okay, good. First up, we have Luca de Palo, 5 stars in 2022.
Definitely 5 out of 5. The actors got me a couple of times and the people working there were nice. We kept getting told by a person who was walking with us to open one of the doors. But like always, the door was just an area where an actor jumped out at. Family friendly and line went by quick. And when we got a hot chocolate, they gave us a bag of popcorn for free. Thanks for a fun time.
Free popcorn? Oh, yeah. Great, honest review, straightforward review. I like how they actually talk about something that happens. You know, this is the only type of review worth a damn in the real world here.
Did that happen to you? Did someone tell you to open the doors?
Not in 2022, or at least when I went through anyways. You know, they've definitely done that before. And not like that's a reserved scare for a particular theme or anything. And he says he's recommended for kids over 6. So first graders, I don't know. The majority of haunt owners lead with this, you know your kids better than we do, so you make the call.
Yeah.
And that's obviously true. Some kids are born psychopaths, but I'd say it's still a bit of a dark one for a first grader. I don't know. Maybe because I'm a dad now, I would say like 4th grade is minimum.
But didn't you say this place was more like family friendly?
Well, a different type of family friendly. You know, this one is no gore, no crazy loud things, no super elaborate animatronics with all their weird stuff. But it's still really dark. And they got scary music playing through the whole thing. Most of the actors are kids, but they're still like pop out in every single room. Some just go crazy sometimes. Others keep it mellow. But, I mean, fear is weird, okay?
Yeah.
Everyone. No matter what age you are, no matter what you've gone through in life, everyone has a switch. And it's almost like a disease. Actually, the cast manager, Andy, has a great quote about that one in one of the articles. He says, we get kids who are 7 and 8 and they love it. And we got someone who's 25 and can't make it past the first room.
Yeah.
You know, I'm planning on doing an episode later about just fear, so I'll have the lecture for that. But what I'm trying to say here is that family friendly doesn't really have a definition. Like, other than the actors don't use adult content like crude language, explicit graphic images, sex and drugs or drinking. You know, why I say 4th grade might be the minimum age, because honestly, it's super hard for me to imagine a parent taking their 6, 7, 8-year-olds to a haunted labyrinth because they saw people online saying it's family friendly. And when they get there, they don't have at least one tiny moment in their head where they say to themselves, oh, this is a little more than what I was thinking.
So are you saying like first-time parents bringing their kids to Haunted Labyrinth might have like a little regret as far as like what they thought it would be?
No. Well, maybe some, but not what no. What I think happens is this is a unique situation. See, the kids are obviously scared. They could be crying, they could be moaning and digging their face into their parents' shirts, or just can move on fast enough. The whole time the parents are laughing about it because to them, they have it in their minds that this place is family friendly. So their kids are just being natural little wimps that they're always supposed to be at that age. You know, mom and dad are thinking, we didn't do anything wrong. This place is family friendly, and I'm not scared at all. Our kids are our kids just need to grow up.
Right.
And like I said, fear is weird. You should know your child, but there is no telling what kind of damage that could do to any particular kid. You know, some will come out of it like, yay, that was funny, ha 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 ha. And some might not sleep for a month.
Yeah.
You know? So 4th grade isn't some super thought out age I came up with. I guess I just think anything younger could be too young, and that's just me, though. So, all right, let's hurry up. So, next up we have a complete idiot. Here's Joe K, 1 star in 2022.
1 star?
1 star. Because he's a big jerk.
If you're looking for a whitewashed haunted house completely free of gore, ghouls, occult, or anything even remotely scary, then this is the place for you. This year the Labyrinth is pirate ship themed. Why? The entire experience is just loud noises and flashing lights. I'd be more scared if a squirrel scampered across my yard than anything contained in this Catholic diocese-run haunted house. Very disappointing. If you're looking for an actually scary experience, I recommend 13th World at Diamond Hill in Cumberland.
I mean, he didn't give a lot of detail, really. But it just said it wasn't scary for him, which is kind of just a personal thing, so...
Nah, this guy is a tool. All right? He recommends 13th World, didn't even review them. I checked.
Maybe he just doesn't know the place is supposed to be kid-friendly.
Yeah, maybe. God, I hate it when you're so positive thinking. You shut up.
I mean, if you didn't know what the place was about and you just went there, you know, this year for the first time, what would you think?
I would probably not have as high of an opinion on them. Yeah, you're right about that. But he messed up, though.
Why?
With stupid nonsense comments like whitewashed.
Yeah.
He says 3 things that make a place scary for him. Gore, ghouls, and the occult.
Ghouls?
Every haunter will tell you that gore isn't scary. It's just cool and implementative, which is totally a word, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And ghouls? He doesn't even know what that word means and sounds like an idiot saying it. Like it's one of the most generic Halloween words to use. But he's out here saying the place is whitewashed, which I'm assuming he means to say it's extremely generic. Because if he's trying to say that the place is all white people, then I don't even know what to say to that. But... And the third thing he listed was the occult. A haunt needs to have Satan involved in order to be good? I don't even know if exactly what occult is supposed to mean in this sense here, but I think that's what he means. And then he complains that it's a pirate theme. What the hell is wrong with that?
Yeah.
And then he just says the whole thing, just loud noises and flashing lights. Okay, so you didn't see the big pirate ship or any of the actors, any of the sets. There might have been like one hallway with a strobe light in it. Just a complete idiot. He might have been having a seizure and thought it was a haunted house, okay? He didn't even go to this place. He was just in his bed one night. This haunt sucked. All right. Let's do a little back and forth here. One good, one bad, one good, one bad. And this is Gabe Curran, 5 stars.
I loved it so much. It was a great experience. In fact, I had a special experience. So I told one of the staff that was explaining things to us that I don't get scared by this stuff. So he asked me my name and then uses his walkie-talkies to tell all the actors my name and that I said I don't get scared. The actors yelled my name, and they even said on the intercom, "Welcome, Gabriel, you will die." An amazing experience, and thank you for the great time.
Welcome, Gabriel, you will die. What a beautiful moment. That's good that they put in the effort with that, too.
Yeah.
How everyone gets involved, like the actors and, you know, whoever was the guy up at the front, too.
Yeah. I know, and that was 2017. That was The Lost Mine. And yeah, I'd say that particular year, they didn't have quite as many actors as I remember them having. A few more adults than usual. At least that's what I recall from that one night that I went through.
Well, why would that matter?
Well, it's just because the vast majority of times I've gone through Haunted Labyrinth, the actors are kids in simple masks, even more simple costumes. And I've said this before, most of them just kind of sit still, acting like a prop until you get close, and then they just give a little rawr. So I could see how a year that had more adults, or at least college-aged people acting, would have been more willing to do off-script stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I hope the people don't attack me for saying another negative thing about this place. I'm just being honest. And speaking of negative stuff, here's a 1-star review. Say hello to Rachel Kaplan. 1 star, 2022.
Absolutely awful. So cheesy, way too short, and the people just scream when you walk by. This is hosted by a church, which is very strange for a haunted house. If you have kids 5 and under, then this is a place for them.
Oof. Oof.
At least she was right about the actors just screaming when you walk by, like you said.
Yeah, but then she goes and talks about how it's run by a church.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, not really. And definitely not a strange thing either. I'll do an episode on how haunts run by churches was kind of a starting point for haunted attractions. And kids 5 and under, nah. Now, these people are obviously younger people who don't understand what 5 and under is. Jeez.
Yeah, it's like people are giving the bad reviews don't seem to know like what this place is. Like it's some like big, huge, professional haunt.
Definitely. I mean, I guess I could say that this place is getting more popular, definitely. But because of the overall popularity of haunts in general, and I've been doing my part for them for a few years. I make the videos and stuff, I write the reviews, and yeah, my videos make all places look crazy good. And like what you said, there isn't really anything telling people, hey, just so you know, this ain't one of those big fancy extreme haunted houses with all the expensive high quality crazy gizmos or a bunch of actors running around like actual maniacs. This is a little thing in our gym with some kids and CVS masks. Which isn't really a truth, obviously, but...
Do you think people that don't know that this is a big-time professional haunt just have a higher opinion of it because of that?
I know I do. I never liked judging haunts on the same scale. Everyone is different in their own way. But let's just see if anyone else thinks the same way. Oh, wait, I gotta get this one in there. So this is a 2-star review. This is J. Coate, 2 stars in 2021.
1.5 hour wait time. Good for kids up to age 12. Takes 10 minutes or less to get through. Sounds like a twin concert. Incessant screams, high-pitched and vibrant. Was it bad, really? Just juvenile.
Wasn't bad, really. Just juvenile. Is it juvenile or juvenile?
Juvenile.
Okay. Do you think that's like a New England way of saying it? I feel like I've heard it say juvenile before.
I'm not sure.
Thanks, noobs. Okay. And that was 2021. The theme was the Midnight Masquerade, like a masquerade ball in a haunted mansion theme. I liked that one too.
Yeah. Did it still have kids just screaming like that though?
I can see the place getting real loud. I think I've only gone on a busy night like once. Most times I go, it's not super busy because they're one of the few places that are open on Sunday nights, and I want to say they were open on Thursdays at one point too. So it's been rare I bump into all of these annoying tween concert stuff apparently. But I've seen some videos, and yeah, it can get cray-cray. All right. Good review here. Here we go. So this is Jessica Rue? I think that's Rue. All right. I win. 5 stars. 2020.
My son has been asking to go to a haunted house, so we looked into a bunch of places and decided this would be a good starter, and it definitely was. Even us adults enjoyed it. The staff were great, and it was pretty easy to navigate. great setup and good scare factor, especially for the kids.
Oh my god.
Hey, lady. Miss Rue? Miss Jessica Rue?
Jessica Rue.
Don't say it was easy to navigate. That's the whole point of this place, okay? Don't discredit the biggest thing they got. Miss Jessica Rue. Whose name sounds like it's something I'd see on a naughty magazine, so I'm sorry you have to live with that.
Thank God. Naughty magazine, huh?
Hey, this is a Christian show.
I mean, you're the one that made the comment about it.
Touche. All right.
What?
One more bad one. We're in the home stretch here. Facebook reviews 4.4 out of 5 on Facebook. So this is Lisa Literal. She does not recommend. October 20th, 2018.
My daughter just left there, and before she entered, she asked if she got anxiety or if her head started to hurt. If she was able to ask to be escorted out, and the woman at the front assured her someone would help. Well, she got a bad headache and asked for help, and was laughed at and just pushed along. She had a severe anxiety attack and told the person at the end of this experience and was told, "Oh, that's what happens here. I wouldn't recommend going again and sorry you didn't have a good time." Very unprofessional and not cool at all. The point is, she asked before going in and was told that anyone that worked inside could help her out. No one helped her and basically thought it was funny. Ridiculous. Not a happy mother. Will not recommend this place to anyone. 2 angry face emojis.
The thing with that is, it sounds like she has like a known condition, and maybe going into a haunt is not the best idea.
Exactly. I'm not happy about this stupid review at all.
Yeah.
If you suffer from severe anxiety attacks, then don't go to a high anxiety place.
Right.
The hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, how is she having a severe anxiety attack inside, but she still gets through it and then, has the energy to complain and tell somebody at the end about it?
Yeah. It's a very short haunt. Like people said, maybe like 10 minutes. And there is exit signs all over the place if you need to leave the haunt. And also, this isn't even from the girl. It's from the mother who is recounting the story her daughter told her. And she ends the whole review with 2 little angry faces. Like, what the...
And the thing with that is, too, is, like, okay, she told somebody in the beginning of the haunt, but that person would have to go and walk through the whole haunt and tell everybody inside about this situation,
Not everybody. I think the majority of haunts have some kind of protocol where, if they see somebody suffering from something, they have a contact person or a contact method to get to, somebody more official, or, one of the actors is just more of an official person. Yeah. And then they walk them to the exit and get them out or something like that. It's just a standard thing. And I'm pretty sure that they have that, but again, it's the kids are volunteers, so they could be coming in, going out. Just not everybody knows exactly what to do. Not everybody's given the super strict safety training or anything like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And it's not like she freaking dropped on the floor and started seizuring all over the freaking place. She was just like, I feel weird.
Yeah, that's true.
Can I exit? Just go. And then she kept on going. What did you expect the guy to say at the end? He said, "Sorry, you didn't have a good time. I recommend not going through a haunted house if you have that condition."
Yeah.
And he's the unprofessional one? Where the hell is your common sense, Lisa? Lisa Literal. What if she married with the last name Lee and they combined the names so she became Lisa Literally?
So it sounds like a bad superhero show or something?
Yeah. On the next episode of Lisa Literally. Lisa takes on a Christian youth center.
You people literally made fun of my severe panic attack daughter. Like, literally.
Ah? Sorry, ma'am. Maybe she shouldn't be going through a haunted house.
Don't even. You literally didn't even try to do anything.
Okay. So what do we do now?
Literally give me money.
No!
You people are literally the worst. Like, literally.
That's a hit show right there. All right, here's a good one. Jennifer Lee Furtado recommends October 9th, 2022. One. There.
We had a blast. Not crazy scary. A great way to introduce a haunted house to first-timers. The only downside was there was no spinny room this year. We were all looking forward to that. We will be back next year. Keeping the tradition.
Nice. Are they talking about a vortex tunnel?
Yeah, the big spinning tube you walk through and it makes you feel like you're getting tipped over. Yeah. I think they actually made their own. It wasn't one of the official ones from the vendor. I remember that.
Yeah, because those things are big.
What?
That's like a big thing. Like a big piece, kind of.
Yeah, the official one that you get from the vendor, I forget who it was, but yeah, it can get big. I think they have different sizes of it, but I think their standard one is like at least 15 feet, maybe 20. But the one that these guys made, maybe 10 feet, maybe a little bit bigger. But yeah, definitely a great place to introduce kids from like 8 years old to 10 or 11 to a haunted attraction. You know, even if they don't really like it, at least they know what another haunt is like.
Yeah, that's nice.
So check it out. We got a Yelp reviews. Here's one.
Ooh.
One last one. Jesse L.R., 5 stars.
I will start by saying that I am personally not a fan of haunted houses and such. They just aren't my thing. But I can certainly appreciate the effort that goes into planning and building such an impressive haunted house. To make it even better, it is a non-profit group benefiting local youth. This is our second year coming to this attraction. As other reviewers have stated, the theme changes every year. You start out going from room to room in a haunted labyrinth. There are tons of actors everywhere. I would hate to even count them all. Some are scary, and some are humorous. The props are outstanding, and you absolutely will get more than your money's worth. So maybe I am not a haunted house fan, but I will still continue to come here every year to support their cause and check out their impressive creativity. Let's face it, these kids could be doing a lot worse things than trying to scare people for Halloween fun. Let's show them our support.
This guy gets it. That was awesome.
No, I mean, he put a lot of thought into the review, and he kind of understands what this haunt is, it seems like, you know?
Exactly. This guy, he deserves a salute. A salute, I say. And the best way that I can think of to do that is with one last
song.
Well, we've got ale and lager, Belgian sour, brown and red, and pale and porter, Weiss and Pilsner, malt and Mars, and Bock and Bitter, Staus and Saison.
I like drinking beer.
Thanks for trying, noobs. That was good. And we are going back to the Tilted Barn. Oh, the ice all melted, and now the can is slippery.
Ew.
I like it, though.
You like it slippery.
Had to pick up this other one. This was the Chosen One, a double IPA. 8% alcohol. Let's do it!
Yes!
And you know how there was daffodils on the other can?
Yeah.
What's on this can, noobs?
Hops.
That's a really cool artwork there, actually. It's like a I don't know how to explain it. It's like cut out construction paper or pattern paper or something like that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Put it a little closer. Closer. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the Chosen One. You asked for it and we delivered. The Chosen One is an American double IPA overflowing with hops and weighing in at a surprising, subtle 8% alcohol by volume. This beer needs no introduction. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy. You have chosen wisely.
Chosen the one.
Cheers, Matt and Kara.
The Chosen One.
Oh wow, this was canned less than a month ago.
Ooh.
Noobs, I'm scared. It says that this thing is overflowing with hops.
Just take it in.
It's just a big hop plant that just explodes out of the can. Ah! Hey, I got this beer and all I got was hops. Well, we said it was overflowing. Yeah, good point. Oof. The hops. The hops.
The hops are hopping.
The hops be hopping, yo. You know what? I'm not going to say super hoppy. Not as hoppy as the beers that are, like, named after, like, a hops, like, hop wagon.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's literally tastes like you're drinking the plant. So, yeah, there is a bit of a subtleness to it. Well, look, it's much cloudier than the first one.
It's a little darker, too.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Whoa, I was wrong. I chose. Oh my. There's so much hops.
Are you all right?
No, it's not that bad. I'm just playing. That is definitely something that you toast to.
Yeah.
And I toast this to you, Mr. Jesse L.R. I drink to you, sir. It's too bad he couldn't have been Jesse R.L. And then I could have done like a R.L. Stein. Had like a Stein of beer. All right. It's very, very smooth. I can't taste the 8%, so it's there and it's dangerous. Very, very nice one, though. Well done again. Well done. All right. So this episode was long. Sorry about that, but thanks for listening. Next episode is number 11. Exciting one. Sort of first year back haunt up in the Great White North, Maine.
Oh.
The Halls of Horror.
Nice.
And thank you, Noobs, for sticking it out for this episode. And do you got anything to say?
Sounds like a great haunt.
All right. And we'll be back with more of whatever it is I'm trying to give you. I'm sorry. Did you have something else to say?
Damn right you should be. Now shut up.
Okay. Jeez, I'm sorry.
No, when I get back out there, I definitely want to check this place out.
What, Tilted Barn or Haunted Labyrinth?
Both.
Oh, cool.
I was talking about the Haunted Labyrinth. Sounds like they put a lot of work in, and excited to see what next year's theme is going to be.
Always excited. Always. And I might, if they take my offer, I'll have exclusive knowledge of what the haunt will be.
The offer is on the table.
I'll make them an offer they can't refuse. Which is, I'll make a YouTube video. I'm just enjoying my beer now. All right, we gotta go. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.
Hey, you guys. One-Eyed Willie. There's 2 One-Eyed Willie references in this, or Goonie references in this, huh?
Yes.
Okay, bye.